so many things when you say, for example, I would like to show you. Just typing Indian again. This is a kind of a repeat to the audience that were already present in the last stream. Just want to make a point over here that whenever we are like designing a brand identity, whether be it a logo, be it any sort of a collateral, we should always have that in mind that what the client's goal is into. Okay, you as a designer, you need to figure it out, like how actually we can achieve those goals and make the client fulfilled and meet all the needs that the client is looking into that brand identity or the product that you are designing for. Okay, so when we say Indian food or any type of an just you type India or Indian or something like that, or even when we say food and everything, the first thing that comes is um, we can also type India or the spices if I want. That's the main thing, right? India is famous for its spices. So when we say we have a lot of spices over here, we have a lot of colors, vibrant colors, right? We have in India especially, we are famous for the vibrancy. We have so much of diversity, so much of varieties of food, varieties of traditions over here that we follow, and most of the world loves it, and India is well noted for that. So try to incorporate those things and try to make it reflect in the logo or the brand identity. So what I did is, one thing is the spices, the other thing is the lotus and the flowers. You can always see Indian architecture. If you go with this, I'm so sorry, I think I have misspelled it. Please forgive me for that. So when we say Indian architecture or something like that, you see these lot of these this type of a shapes, the curved shapes. Try to you know study and analyze those architectures as well, because that actually brings in a lot of tradition, right? So look at those minute details that make you feel like, okay, this is an Indian. So whenever you have this feeling, right, whenever you see some sort of a pen or even a shirt or something, a print on the shirt, you will suddenly say, okay, yes, it looks like a kind of Indian, right? We have this word, right? So it comes from all these accent that it's already preconceived in our brain, so that which tells us that, okay, this entire design is Indian. This is made in India. Or what makes it? If you think, you will get all these answers. We have a lot of these shapes, especially these shapes, like this. One second. Guys, you're able to see my screen, right? I hope so, because I won't be knowing I'm on the other tab. Okay. Okay, fine, Abhishek. Thank you so much. So yeah, see these architecture, these shapes that we have, it's really nice to look at, right? Especially the curves which we have, the kind of like this type of a shape we have everywhere, and a lot of flowers, lotus petals. If you say the like flowers, animals, or the architecture, or you can search for type of plants that are the vegetation, all those things. Whenever you're trying to design it with respect to geographical location the client is into, and they want to bring it the the geographic part more, they want to reflect the geographical location more into their brand identity or logo, then you need to research all of these things, right? Design is not only about using the tools or the softwares, it's more about how did you think, how design thinking has been, how the goal is achieved through design thinking. Okay, so coming back to where I was. Now actually we are starting today's stream. Okay, so what I did is, I have researched a lot of things. Okay, so these are the the what we call the chakras in our body. everywhere you see the same lotus part reflects a lot. The lotus petals reflects a lot in the Indian accent. It's kind of a divine thing. And also you can observe one thing. There is a lot of gradient usage in the shapes. And if you pay attention to the shapes, it's all kind of a curved and pointed towards the edge, and which gives a sense of a petals of a flower. So that's something that psychologically people over here have this a great impact on them. It's kind of a divine effect on them, right? So I thought, why can't I incorporate all these things into the uh, logo? So I was thinking, and this is the ideation that I came to. See, so this is the lotus petals. Okay, so this was the initial ideation. Okay, guys. So thereafter, what I thought was, there was a lot of the petals, and there was a lot of ideations, and I thought of having all these things, and then finally I tried removing few of the petals from here, and I came up with this, and then I thought of a Favicon also. It's a web browser kind of a collateral. It's a new way of a digital collateral. There is a lot of collaterals, print media and everything. So even the apron in a restaurant, the coasters, the menu cards, and everything. So we will be trying to, trying all these designs, and we will see how it works out. So let me open up a new canvas. By the way, I won't be able to. If you have any questions, yeah, actually, how did you go about the picking the color scheme, right? Picking the color scheme was basically from the uh, you know trial and error kind of a method. I will show you. This is the color palette, right? You were asking about this, right? These colors were already in the inspiration mood board. So what I did is, these are not exactly the hexacode, but I went to the website called that's one of my favorite website for color.ado and palette generator. It gives you the kind of a color palette you want based on the moods and tones. I will tell you how it works and how I have put. Just a sec. If I go with the I'm copying the hexacode. By the way, guys, I'm so sorry if there is any sort of a disturbance in the background that you hear of about the drilling and everything. I'm so sorry. It's my neighbors. They are renovating their house. Apparently, I have tried to inform them, but they say it cannot be helped. What can we do? They don't care, right? Even if I have a stream. So yeah, guys. So here it is. I have put the hexacode, and this is the color, right? This is the color palette that it is giving. This is the default color scheme. Okay, because I have selected an analog over here. You can see it's an analogous. Analogous is usually it goes best with most of the projects, most of the designs, but most of the every color is the color always depends on the type of the product that you're designing. If it's for example, if I if I have an analogous selected over here, you can see this color palette I won't be able to choose, right? So if I alter this, I can have too many variables, right? But I won't be able to get the right one, right? If I go with the monochromatic, this is best for the flat color. If you're designing an app or something like that, it's best for that. The best for vibrant colors. Just a second, I think. This is the triad. Complementary. Uh, I try most of the time. I try to be have a complementary colors in the design because it brings a lot of contrast. And after that, we can sorry guys, we can alter a little bit. See, and also I think I have these colors, right? I have these colors as well. So I try to do a trial and like permutation combination on these. If, for example, if I go with this color, you have to just pick this color. Of course, the for the picture itself is not high definition, so we won't be able to get the right color. You have to manage it a little bit. You have to see the right type of a thing. The right type of a shade over here, shade and tints. You should manage, see which one is better. Find the sweet spot. Copy the exact code, and then you come over here and then try implementing it over here. So when you put it here, you will get a stream of color palette. See, most of these colors are actually you feel it's an Indian colors, right? So what I did is, you can also select these colors, right? And then, for example, in this palette, if you have three colors that you like and that you feel that it goes well with the brand identity, then you can select those colors, select those hexacode, and then you can take it over here, and then you can go doing a permutation combination for other colors as such. Like, for example, you can try with these colors and you can try with the other colors as well. Okay, guys. So I think I have answered the query. Just a sec. And yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Okay. So coming back to my file and my lovely software, I'm very happy to see this layout because since I'm working with this layout from years now. Okay. I think I need to quickly move file. That's the basic of it. That was done. Just where I left off, I guess. Oh, you know. Try to divide this first. Increase the stroke. Just so I have room for all the collaterals. Nice. All these spices. What I'm trying to do here is, I'm just trying to capture the essence of the spices. That's all. I'm just finding the better picture for the inspiration and to capture the colors. Never select the picture that are too vague, that are too like a wide angle or something like that, something like this. Mm. Guys, feel free to ask a question in the chat below. I will try to answer it in between. I will be hopping in between the tab and I will be answering your queries as well. Hmm. If the pictures are not clear, you won't be able to get the you know get the right mood and the feeling. So I'm just trying to find out which is much more clear. And there is no need of going for a high definition or trying to buy a high definition photos on uh, you know a lot of websites that they offer high definition photo. They are pretty costly. So no need of that. You just have to so keep looking for the right photo. See, this thing. Okay, I don't remember what it's called as balcony in Hindi, I guess. Just try to think about the design goal and the problem that you are trying to solve while searching for the while doing entire project. Try to think whether this photo or whatever the task that you are doing that actually adds up adds a value to your work, adds a value to the product that you are designing. Because a lot of people who have just entered into the design or due to the misguidance or uh, due to the right now there is a lot of digital misguidance also happening, that people say if you know a particular software, you are a graphic designer or you are a UI UX designer. It's nothing like that, guys. Everything depends starts from the design thinking. Okay, I'm going to take this. I think I'm just taking a screenshot. I'm just try. I think I will be going with one or two fruits as well. Groundnut. save this. We have a lot of yeah, this is good. We have a lot of the star shaped, flower shaped colors like haldi, kumkum, in vibrant yellow. In other words, vibrant yellow or cinnamon yellow, uh, dark red, deep red, kind of a wine red. All these colors are very easy to find in our Indian gallery. So trying to just incorporate all those colors and all those accent. So, moving this idea. But yes, the chili red also is very famous, right? So that red is completely different from all the red in India, I guess. It's, mm, chili will be the good keyword, I guess. Nice colors. Indian red chili. I did, I did not type food. Why is it giving me food picture? I think there's something weird with my browser. Chili pepper. Nihal has a question over here. For a brand colors also, do you follow a similar pattern of seeing the reference images? For a brand color, are you talking about rebranding or it's a complete new brand that you're trying to design? If it's a new brand, it's the same. Reference images are actually it's just for the sake of reference. It's like a mood board, when you are trying to build a brand, when you're trying to do a brand identity for a new company. For instance, I'm just giving you this as an example. If you are building a brand identity for a new company, for example, for a pharmaceutical company, where they, their specialty or their USP, what we call that's a unique selling point of their business is somewhat like they are made up of completely plant-based, medicines. They don't have any, nowadays people have this all new kind of I'm just telling it's just for the sake of example. I'm just giving you there is a lot of vegan also thing is going on, keto, everything is going on right now. So just the customer, your clients USP, unique selling point is something like their entire medicine is based on plants. Then when you got to find the way and go and be very specific about what is their actual goal, what they're looking for. For example, if they're using plant based, what sort of a plant they trying to trying to use, and where are these, where is the vegetation coming from? Is it India based? Is it Europe based? Is it an Amazon jungle based? Where are these little herbs that they are that they put into the medicine get from? So you have to then go and search for the reference images to the vegetation in all those things. Again, one more thing. It doesn't have to be this way. There is no such way of particular or a specific way of designing a brand identity. There is no common way, like you have this sort of a workflow and you implement to all the brand identity projects. No, it doesn't work that way, because each and every product is different, each and every client is different. Yeah, because every client has his own emotions related embedded into his product. There is a different reason why he is coming up with this new product in the market, right? So you got to find that where is actually his, where your client's emotion is mostly weight, it will leaning towards. Some people will be have some client will be having you know they have a pharmaceutical company, but their USP will be that, but they will say that okay, we don't want our USP or something that is to reflect in our logo. There is no need, because they will be descripting in their brochures or on their website, or on many other collaterals. They will be mentioning that, or they can also mention verbally, or they will be spending so much of money for advertising also. So they can convey the message that okay, our the medicine that we make, that is a plant based. So it's not necessary that you always capture the USP. It depends on the client. That is why we take a brief whenever you design. Whenever you, before even starting a client's project, you just take a brief. In that brief, you got to ask all these questions so that you understand clearly what actually the client is looking for, and then you build a story on it. You capture the essence, you capture the emotions that the client is, and capture the actual goal what a client wants to accomplish with this project. Then you deliver that. Okay, it is not only about not only about aesthetics, it's not only about the USP, it is not only about the colors, it's the right capturing the right accent. Okay, I think I have answered your question, Nihal. And Abhishek has one more question. How do you create the different variations of the logo, like word mark, placements mark, and make sure they align with the primary logo? Yes, of course. Nice question, Abhishek. Thank you so much for that. I will be addressing that in a while, in a short sentence. Govind has a question. Very beautiful question. How to describe? How do you describe? I guess design thinking in a short sentence. Design thinking is a process of it's an iterative process of thinking through the phases and the stages that they have. For example, in the design thinking, there is a five stages. There is an empathy. That's an empathize also. It's called as empathize. And then there comes define. Then there comes an ideation and prototype and testing. So in these five stages, you have to incorporate all the things. Each phase, each stages, you got to what do you call? You have to roll the entire product project that you have. You have to completely think outside the box. Try to empathize with the users. Try to empathize with the client, and see what they actually need and deliver what you want. The only in short form, if I can say that design thinking is a type of a process wherein you solve a particular design challenge, more effectively. I hope I have answered your query, Govind. Now getting back to the canvas, I think meanwhile, guys, keep asking questions. I'll be hopping in between. And I'm so sorry today I couldn't, you know, play music in the background. I'm just trying to align. Mm, I don't find any. I don't know why today the interest is behaving this way. Honestly, uh, it's not even showing Indian. I just want some pictures of red chili. I think is there any boycott chili thing going on in the social media today? Because I don't find a single picture of it. Red chili. I don't know why. Oh, yeah, yeah, there was one. Yes. Finally, I landed on the right you know, picture. Okay. I have so many of you. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Sorry, sorry. It's called kali, right? And also, it's called pepper, right? It's pepper seeds, red pepper. But either way, it always the AI should always give us the the best results or the nearest results, right? It was showing the food and dishes pictures, completely irrelevant to the search keyword that I put there. Mm. This picture somewhat okay, okay, not that happy. Never select the photos that are filtered. Has a lot of filters, color grading that has been done. You can see there's a lot of color grading, right? You can see the cinematic look. Don't select those colors because you can see the green channel is much more higher and the red is also comparatively higher. The other colors, other channels are all low. Never select those pictures because you will, if you try to, you know, pick the color accent from this kind of a photo, what it happens is the entire color palette might go wrong because you will be selecting the colors from this picture, which is of course wrong, and then you'll be pasting it over here, and then you will try to find the right colors that are associated with it, right? So the permutation combination itself will go wrong in the entire, in the entire project. So almost try to find the natural photos, that are clicked with the phone, that are clicked with a DSLR, something like that. Of course, if you don't find, in that case, you can always come here and can alter the tones and tints of that color. But you should be knowing a little bit of color theory and how actually the color works and where actually the sweet spot lies. Where to find it takes a little bit of extra time. Okay, other queries. Concept for the logo. Abhishek, concept for the logo as in what exactly? I'm unable to get. Like generally, you're asking, or just for this particular project. Where did that go? This is the problem with designers, folder. You don't get that file that easily because I'll be working on so many projects simultaneously. It's very hard for me to, I don't get time to even, make a folder and keep it inside. Normally, what I do is if I get a little bit of leisure time in between after completing the project, what I do is I That's actually the best, um, the best type of the best practice that you try to label and try to label each and every layer also in your canvas in your software, and also uh, you try to make a folder for each and every project that you're working. That's much more way more easier for you to find the files whenever you need it. Else you will end up searching like me. It's like searching the pin in the sand. Yeah, yeah. Abhishek. No, our logo has already been designed in the previous stream. So now it's only about the collaterals. Here I will be writing what are the collaterals. One more canvas. For this particular project, the collaterals will be the first collateral will be the posters. The second would be the second would be mm, napkins or even a tabletop. Sorry. And the third would be the apron, right? You find apron. Fourth would be the merchandise, or you can call the uniform logo on the uniform. These will be the collateral deliverables for restaurant client. These are the normal in normal scenario. We have all these things, and also the menu card. Okay, what else would that be? What else? Oh, yeah, billboards for the advertising, right? Billboards, posters, and what else it would be? This much is good. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, one more thing. Forgot to add favicol. What else can we add? think we are good to go. These are the main, uh, you know, collaterals that any restaurant client will want to have from a designer. So now what are we trying to do here is we already have a logo that has been built. We have to do whenever there are two things that I just want to software away. This is an brainstorming software that I use. It's, for the mind mapping and sort of stuff. Restaurant branding. So, what does a restaurant branding contain? The logo, and of course, its variants, right? Then the collaterals, right? But before this, we have a major thing that we have to, you know, decide. That's you know design style. Okay, before even the design style is like what did I do? Logo variants, collaterals, and we have pattern design in this. Yes, pattern design. The pattern design is again it depends on the type of a project that you're doing, that you're working on. Not necessarily it has to have a pattern, but this is more common in the restaurant and food industry. Wherever you see, even there are a lot of things. Yeah. The best example is if you go and buy a burger, you have this type of a paper that is wrapped, right? The burger is wrapped in a paper. The paper contains is printed, full of patterns, right? So even there, the patterns we need. All these are a kind of a collateral that we can use and that can be printed on, that can be printed on the collaterals, right? So now, based on that, we are also going to design a pattern, trying to mimic some of these shapes and lines, paying close attention to the shapes and lines, as I said before. As I forget which the tool that I have selected. We have the star shaped, right? And also we have this. What I am having an idea is somehow I try to incorporate this shape and this star shape. Sorry. Mm, something like this. Mm, How does a visual, Apu has a question, visual and communication design go together? Visual and communication together is called a storytelling. When you capture a verbal information from the client, you try to make it, you try to explain that visually. That means you are communicating. So that is a storytelling. It's a way of telling a story through visual elements and visually. So that's the main aim of a graphic designers. How to pick fonts. uh, Picking fonts is again a two-way question. It again depends on the type of the product that you're trying to build. For example, if you are right now, I am in the in my last stream, I was trying to search for the font that that looks and feels kind of an Indian, because the main aim was to bring that Indian accent. So I have chosen that the font that looks like that, and then I have changed the kerning and the complete the inline and the bottom line and everything. I just altered it so that it fits and feels more like an Indian. I'm just trying out, you know, trying to mimic. Not necessarily it has to, come perfect in the first try itself. Because the main idea of, trying to do something over on the canvas, when you first touch your cursor, click on your mouse on the canvas, is the main objective is to, bring the ideas that you have in your mind onto that canvas. Anybody has a question? Okay, so everybody's set. I'm just trying to mimic the shape. So I'm just trying weird things over here because just want to get that shape into it. Just trying out the other ways of getting to the final shape. There are a lot of ways. There is no such thing as a particular perfect way of doing anything. Yeah, everybody has his or her own process of designing. Too many points on the path will create a problem in future, guys. Whenever you try to, expand and convert it to, um, try to rasterize it, uh, then it creates a problem. The shape doesn't come well. We have this. Because Um, no, I don't. Usually, I have a vacuum, but for the illustrations and vectors, uh, illustrations, yes, for few illustrations, you have to, it's better using a vacuum, but either way, it's okay. I mean, for the vectors and all, mouse is enough. I feel convenient for to design vectors with the mouse. feel edge, and the edges are too pointy. Again, guys, I'm just doing it because I feel, you know, uh, I do these things because it helps me to think outside the box. It helps me to break that thinking pattern. Having to work only under certain limitations. I think there's a slight problem. I think by mistakenly, I have deleted the path. I think so. I just need to check. The only way to check that is to do a stroke. Okay, nothing's bad. Right. Any site or book could you suggest to get some concept idea or references? Concept idea. The best books are, yes, I could recommend few books that will be very helpful to to start the spark of design thinking, to get that concept thinking. But do a case studies. Go just Google case studies on brand identity. you will have a lot of references from the websites, and then from there you try to analyze how a designer is uh, came to that decision of you know uh, finalizing that, okay, this works, and this is why I select this logo is the best, this illustration is the best suited for this client, this illustration, this logo is uh, the no good to go with. So you will understand all these things from doing a case study. There are a lot of case studies you can go, like always select the brands that are already like at the top of the market, like Zara, Nike, Adidas, how these brand identity designs were designed. You can also go with the big tech companies, do a case study, like case studies on the brand identity for the company Siemens, and Cisco, and Apple, Google. All these things, all these companies have a very good brand identity, right? So you can go ahead with that. So that is the best option. The books I would recommend is, uh, one thing is design. I think the design in our everyday life or something by Don Norman. I'm not sure what it is about. Just a second, I will just go. Yeah. The design of everyday things. This is one of the best book, and the second book would be Ellen Lepton's Graphic. I think there is one book called as Graphic Design. I have read this long ago, so I don't remember the name. Design, graphic design, graphic design, beyond brainstorming. Yep, correct. Yeah, this is one of the best books to understand how actually a design phase or graphic design or a designer has to think how to achieve the required goal. This is the best book. It's written by, yes, again, Ellen Dupton. Yeah. So these two books will be very helpful for you. There was one more book. I forgot the name. Just a second. I think, yes, designs. Go with the design styles. I think you have to go. Not this. Just try to do a research on types of design styles. In graphic design. Mine are the best. Yep. You guys might have seen this. Uh, this kind of an designs, right? This poster. This is an abstract. Again, this is an abstract. So abstract is a type of a design. Swiss. Wherever you see a lot of uh, plus, minus, mathematical. There is a, like, any design that has like a lot of mathematical elements. plus minus something like that. It's called as a Swiss design. And if you go with the flat, again, Google had come up with the flat design style, right? So you know what the flat design is. It contains no effects. It's just a single solid color laying on the other color, or it can be appear individually. So those are the flat style, and there is a psychedelic. There is Buhas. Buhas is, I think you guys might have seen lot of geometrical shapes, right? Let's just show you how Buhas design style works. I love the Buhas. Buhas is actually a university of design. It's in the Germany. It was started at the time of World War II. It has completely changed the graphic design. Back then, there was a lot of uh, things happening. A lot of changes and revolutions taking place in design industry, graphic design industry. So Buhas was one of the most modern design style at those days. So it is still recognized as a contemporary type of a style. I think it should be here somewhere, right? I don't know what is what has happened to Pinterest today. Yes, this is Buhas. You know, this you see all these type of shapes, right? So this is Buhas. This is a Buhas famous poster. See, all these type of art, this type of posters, you might have seen, but you don't. You might have not known that it's a Buhas, right? It's actually Buhas works on the principle that form follows function. It's a 3F, form follows function. Whatever you design, whatever the shape that you take, it has a purpose to serve in that design. It's just not put that just because it is aesthetically pleasing. So it has a job to do. So that is what the Buhas, entire University of Buhas is based on. They teach all those things. So it's like that. So whatever the designs that you see, it's actually again here there are a lot of good and bad designs. Also, you should be very aware of that. So you should be able to judge which is a good design and which is a bad design. Because if you are taking inspiration from a bad design, then you are again choosing the wrong path of designing. So this entire thing, this is actually the Buhas original poster. Back then, it was designed by this Austin Wilmer. It was designed in 1923. So it has a lot of things over here. If you see, there is a circle, but it's a half circle. There is a face that you can see, and there is some mechanism. And this typography is going. It's following the path. It's following something. It's not, it has a job to do. It is just. If you see, it looks like as if it's following this path and it's just gliding the surface across. And there is also the one more element over here. It is some uh, sort of a looks like a CL, but ladle, but it's not. Actually, it's a type of a mechanical machine that is happening over here. So all these things, it has a purpose to serve there. So this is Buhas. All these design styles try to do a study on all these type of designs, and you will come to know what to implement in what sort of scenarios. Where actually what design style suits best for what type of a product and what type of a client. So once you are perfect with this, you or whatever the project that you undertake or whatever the problem design challenge that you want to solve will become much more easier, to brainstorm. I hope I have answered the question. Okay, let's get back to the work. Oh, see, I did, I did not see that shape hiding under that. What, what happened? So one more question that I want to ask to the audience over here is, what software do you guys use usually for uh, doing illustration or graphic designing, or what is the software that you are willing to use? Oh, okay. Now we have the shape, which is, you know, this is a stroke and this is a fill. Okay, so whenever I select both of these, it shows multiple colors selected, or the colors selected are from the different shapes or the different elements. So I'm just trying to see whether everything is right or wrong, and then I found out that this is not yet expanded. It is not a shape yet. This is just a stroke. So it will be a problem in future when you are trying to convert this into a compound shape or a compound path. So what I will going to do is I'll be expanding it right now, which will convert it into fill and a shape. And now I can perform the pathfinder functions as unite. Boom, done. But I don't want to do it right now yet because these shapes are not yet free. Meanwhile, done the path. Oh, Figma and Photoshop for illustration. I don't think Figma is the right tool for illustration and vector graphics. It is very good for UI design. I feel so. Again, it's okay if that is convenient for you to design in Figma. Sketch and Photoshop, yes. But Photoshop, I don't think there is a vector. It's a raster graphics creator tool. I don't think it is. It will deliver the high quality vector graphics. Of course, you can convert that to Figma. Most of the people here use Figma for the illustrations. But that's good though. If you are feeling that, that tool is the tool is easy, then it's actually good. What? Vivian. That's great. That's great. I'm a UI UX designer too. I'm just trying to create few variants of it so that I feel, as long as I feel something is closer to creating the pattern. Okay. I think either I will go with this. Always try to make the pattern less, you know, less complicated in terms of shape and colors. Not don't use too much of effects, too much of colors, too many colors. Don't have too much of stroke width and heaviness of the stroke. Keep it minimal because it is going to be a pattern, right? So when you're trying to render it out, like in the Illustrator it uses RAM, right? So the RAM cache will get over starts overflowing. So it might give you a trouble if you're like using too much of effects and shapes, and your Illustrator starts hanging. So okay. Yeah, that language. Language option, there's a shortcut in Windows. If you click Alt and I think Alt and Shift, that pops up. To black. Okay. Now I'm just trying to check how does a pattern look on a darker background, because you never know where the client is gonna use those patterns, right? So he might use on cover plastic bags or any on the he might also use it on the billboards. You never know what is the color of the billboard. You never know. You don't have a control over it. What client uses, on what platform the client uses. Of course, you can have a talk on this also. You can discuss with the client regarding this. But whatever you design has to be, you know, ready for applying in on all of the type of all kind of backgrounds like darker or lighter background. So see, if I do a operation over here, this is a path, and this the background. I forgot to expand this white color stroke. It's still in the stroke form. So when I'm trying to do a pathfinder operation, you see what is happening, because since there are two different type of shapes. One is actually a shape, the other one is a stroke. It's in a vector form, path form. uh, it does not apply the pathfinder does not apply the operation properly. So you got to have, if you're trying to apply a pathfinder operation on two objects, then you should have both of those objects, both of those shapes in the same object mode. So one is in the stroke and the other one is in the shape form. So what I will do is I will go here, okay, and then I do, sorry, I do an expand. Okay, now this is the shape and this is the shape, and now if we do this, see, we have, right, we got what we needed. This now this entire shape has become one. So yeah, moving on. Sorry. When you do UX, what is the process and at what part do, do you do customer surveys? Customer surveys is always uh, customer service or the user research. Your research is always done at the beginning phase, that is empathize. So you have to always start, because after the empathize you got to define what the design challenge is, right? So you need to understand you need to understand the pain points of the users. So you got to do it in the beginning itself. It's better you do it in the beginning, since as I said in the beginning, that design thinking is an iterative process. You can always come back when you test a product. You don't have a expected results. You can come back and do again. It's you can change again. You can go to the surveys. You can come back if you feel that ideation is not done properly. Then you can always have you know do a ideation like once again, and do brainstorming once again. If you think that prototype is not working properly, or if you have missed out on any elements in the prototyping tool or something like that, you can always come back. So it's an iterative process, so no worries. I'm happy with this. This looks very minimal. What I will do is move on this. One sec. I think trying to find the center part. Minus 52.58 degrees. If I go with 45-degree angle, I think I will end the show. Again, it will be too heavy, right? Okay, let's see how the infrared would look. By the way, I forgot to tell you guys that you have this. Uh, Normally, you get the collaterals to to test on. There is something called as free pick. There you get free resources. Of course, some are free to use commercially and some are not. You can go with the kitchen. Some are premium. Okay, we have this. I think we don't we don't have any free mockups, but we have it over here. We have. Hmm. It would be better if a person is, wearing it, but I don't think we will get that. I think this is good to go for now. So, it's, so we have this. We can create based if you're trying to test the graphics, pattern graphics or even a logo. Uh, there are two things that you can do. One, you can take a dimensions of the collaterals that your client has given, or if they did not give any sort of a dimension and they say that they are not sure what what their collaterals would be. Sorry, then you can test it on a similar product like apron or something like that. You can get a mock-up from online, and then you can show it off. But based on the size or based on the dimensions that your mock-up is made of, you have to create the pattern for that itself. Because what happens is, if you do this, the pattern fits well with the mock-up. If you don't do this, if you create a random dimension, pattern or a vector graphics, you have to again stretch it in the Photoshop, and that what makes it look kind of a jittery or too big or too small. Okay, you might have to repeat the process again and again to create a certain pattern. It looks like completely mechanical, and that won't look good. And even though your designs are very visually appealing, uh, it won't be giving you the expected results. So that is why you get a proper dimension from the client, or you can, for example, see we have the dimension over here, right? 1000 to 1860, right? Open patterns, right? We gotta export it in PNG8 to scale or one axis. Export. Exporting it to. I think. Oh, it makes a folder, right? Makes a folder. Mm, Nice. Where it went off. It's PNG. This this is a problem. Whenever you export through the oh god. It will better the one axis. I have no idea today why my PC is acting up. This is the right one, right? Okay. So here we have pocket, pocket. Okay. For pocket we can have the logo. So I guess this is the primary logo, right? That we had designed last time. I have just changed the color of it. it. I can scale. Okay, right. Oops. Yep, yep, yep. Yep. We have this. We also have the darker variant. I'm sorry, the yes, this is far more better, right? So this is the one of the collateral guys. Today, I guess I might have to end up how. So today there is only one collateral design. So stay tuned in for the next session. We will be designing the other patterns for the other collaterals as well. We will also see how to design a impressive menu card, and how to design submark, how to use the submark logo variant on the coasters as well. So any questions, guys, for the backdrop color? Should it always be a shade of the primary? For the backdrop color, as in, I sorry, I couldn't get you. Can you elaborate your question, please? Darshan has one more question. How do you make a transparent overlay to make a glass effect in Photoshop? I'm so sorry. I am not that uh, used to for in Photoshop. I have not used Photoshop in years now. I just use it for the sake of prototyping and testing the vector graphics. Backdrop color of a logo. Oh, okay. Okay. You mean this? The backdrop, as in you're asking me the black color? Okay. No, the black color is just for the client to tell him that it works on the darker background also. Sometimes what happens is client will be using, even though as a graphic designers, we say we give a style guide to use it on multiple uh, the style guide, how to use a vector graphics in their work, or on the material, on the media that they are trying to advertise their business into. Even though you give a lot of do's and don'ts, sometimes client doesn't listen, right? Because they don't have a picture of how it would go on a darker background. So what we have to do is we have to give them a complete picture and a visualization how would it would look. So this was a complete stack of a brand identity. You have so many variants. I have created so many variants of this. This is a complete brand identity. So normally the client will either ask you for a primary. Primary is the primary logo that you have to deliver in a normal scenario whenever you're trying to design a brand identity. But when it comes to the complete brand identity thing, the client will be very clear with what they are going to need it. One thing is the primary logo. The second you have to give is the submark, right? The black and white variant is must, right? In a few of in just from many years, it has been a major uh, what do you call, it's completely like you have to have in the brand identity design project, that black and white variant is very needed for the client to get that idea on how a logo would look on a darker background. So better to give a variant, different color variant of a logo on for the darker background. Or if you are not taught with it has been not in your brief, then you can always um, ask the client not to give the style guide, that never use on a darker background. Even if they are going with the darker background, give them a solution for that too. I hope I have answered your question. Yes, I had another color, Abu, because there was this color. I was a complete in confusion with the colors. Right, I was trying to use this color, or I wanted to use the dark maroon color, or the shades of red. So since as you move away, I will just show in the shades of red. What happens is when you move away from the normal hue, it gets too diluted and the accent is lost. So I started scouting for a much more vibrant red color. So this was the perfect one, the perfect spot. So then I thought of using this color because also it's a little bit vibrant, right? So I have gone with this. This is a Felicon. So in the next session, we will be designing a menu card. So please stay tuned for that. You'll be notified. Also, do follow me on Instagram. I'll be posting the updates on this and also on the LinkedIn. Oops, I think I have. You can search my name on the Instagram. That's Designs. Thank you so much, Abu. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Stay safe. Always wear a mask and get the third booster vaccination. It's about to come. I guess it has already been, announced by the government. So get the third boosters as well. Thank you so much, guys. It was really a great audience. Thank you so much. Very interactive.